What is up, tacos? I'm very glad to be back here with you on some Fridays so we can talk about what kind of questions we have. And since we're in the new year, we've kind of changed it up a bit from what we were doing previously. So make sure to stick around and hear all of the fun questions and see what we've changed. So here we go! So, some of the changes we've made to how we're going to be doing our questions is we're going to break our questions up in 3 groups, which is kind of what we were doing before, but they're going to be themed different. And we're going to start with the starters. So today's starter question is simply, how was your holiday break? We're just coming off the week of being on holiday break. You know, we are getting back into school, back into our normal rhythms, but I want to know how your holiday break was.
And so I'm going to tell you how mine was.
Mine was actually pretty great. You know, as some people's was likely the same. It was uneventful. There wasn't a whole lot going on compared to other years just because of the circumstances we're under this year. But I did get to do some really fun, exciting things that I haven't done in a very long time. Something that I haven't done in a few years is actually go sledding. And what I was able to do is
go sledding.
And here is a video from that trip. I went on Mequon Hill, which is just outside of Thiensville, where I actually have an apartment. And I was able to go down this huge hill that takes about 45 seconds to 50 seconds to get down, and you can really get some speed. And by the time we had gotten there, it was way after the original snow had come, so there were some pretty big divots that people had put in, so you had to make sure that when you were going down the hill that you knew where you were going to hit so that you weren't going to hit the big divots at the end and go crazy and
hurt your bone a little bit.
Because you didn't want to have that. You wanted to be able to
get right up and go sledding again.
But that was one of the things that I was able to do this break, and I haven't gone sledding in so long, and it felt good to be a kid again because, you know, as much as I would like to be and think that I'm still kind of 16 because that's how it feels like some days, I don't feel like an adult.
I guess I am an adult.
But that was one of the activities I was able to do on my holiday break, and I hope you guys had some really fun opportunities to get out and do things and still enjoy the holiday season.
Even though it was slightly different than your normal schedule.
Okay, so now that we've gotten into our starter questions, we're going to move to our new section, which is called Comical Questions. That's right, friends, we've switched up, so these are kind of comical questions that
have a little bit of ridiculousness to them.
Don't really have a particular answer and might just have you feel like,
oh my goodness, are we really asking this? This is crazy.
So today we are going to start with 2 crazy comical questions. The first being, is cereal a soup? My immediate answer to this is just kind of sad.
I would never consider cereal a soup.
Even though, when you come down to think of it, it is the makeup of a soup. It is a liquid with solids in it, so that's kind of the soup. But for me, soup is more of like a stock thing, and you put meat in it, you put vegetables in it.
It's not something that you eat in the morning, okay?
Cereal is something that I usually consume in the morning, and yes, I am a cereal person.
I tend to eat it every day for breakfast in most cases.
And you know what? I'm not going to sit down and say,
oh, I'm going to enjoy some soup for breakfast.
So I would not consider cereal a soup. I know that you probably have different sets of opinions on this, and of course, it is the comical question, so it is kind of the ridiculousness. So, if you want to explain to me why you think cereal is a soup,
I'm here for it.
I'm just going to say that I don't think I'm going to go with your rationale on cereal being a soup. So the second question that we have for our comical questions today is a fun one about pizza, and I'm not sure if we've addressed it before, we may have, but this question is, does pineapple belong on pizza? So I know some of you have the liking to pineapple on pizza. Before, for tacos events, we have ordered pineapple on pizza and Hawaiian pizza, but for me,
I just can't put fruit on pizza.
I don't think they go well together. I mean, I have had pineapple pizza, I have had Hawaiian pizza, and I'm not going to say that I hated it.
But it just didn't feel right in my system, you know what I mean? Like,
pineapple probably shouldn't be on pizza. In fact, if I were to eat Hawaiian pizza, you know, pineapple and ham bits, I'd probably take the pineapples off and just go with the ham pizza. I know that kind of sounds weird.
But that's probably what I would do because I don't think the pineapples really belong on pizza.
Now, same for the last question. I'm sure you guys have differing opinions on what you think if cereal is a soup or if pineapple belongs on pizza. And I know that some of you like it, and it is a good thing. But this is another example of how things can be very different amongst us both. How I don't see cereal as a soup and I don't like pineapples on pizza, but I'm sure some of you do. And I would love to hear the argument of why you think pineapple does belong on pizza. But for me,
fruit probably shouldn't be on pizza.
Okay, friends, now that we've gone through our starters and we've gotten through our comical questions of this week, we're going to go into the section of digging a little deeper. This final question that we're going to go through today is our digging deep question, and it's kind of a way to set up your year because we still are in the very beginning of this year. I know that over the course of this week with the motivational posts and our devotion, we've focused on how it is a new year and it's kind of dragging up, but I'd like to talk about it just one more time. The question is, and it's something that we brought up at the end of last year too, is how there was so much change in 2020 and so much that we had to incur and all these things that we took on. And 2021, we are obviously hoping for more change so that things might go back to normal or things might change in our lives. There's an idea that we want to have change. And I can't sit here today and tell you that the world is perfect because we know what is going on in this world. You guys have been watching television over the course of days. I don't want to get into what side you are on or how you want to do it, but we know that things are very different in this world and that there should be a call for change about the things that we are experiencing on our TVs and in our families, and now that could come into 2021 and cause more change. So the question for this day is, how do you most want to change in the year 2021? I would say that I would like to open up to becoming a better learner and a better listener. Now I know for myself, I feel like I'm very good at listening to both sides of things. I feel that I'm a very good learner and take on things easily. But that's my implicit bias to myself. That's me saying that I know that I can be better than people and I'm going to assert that I am better. But I could probably take myself down because I am more likely more of an average thinker or an average listener when it comes to things, even though I think I'm so good at it. So the thing that I can work on for myself this year and how I most want to change myself is to become a better listener, to listen to more perspectives, to get a better understanding of everybody's opinion so that I can now come to a conversation and be productive amongst every person's views. I want to become a better learner so that I can understand other people's situations better, so that I can understand the world around me better, and so that I can understand what I can do to put positive energy out into the world. So those are the two things that I want to work on. I want to be a better listener and I want to be a better learner. And those are the ways I can change myself in 2021. So I hope you guys can take into that consideration of how you can change, and feel free to reach out with the ways that you feel like you want to change beyond just what I suggested in being a better learner or a better listener. I want to know what you guys are feeling out for this year and how you want to see yourself change the most coming through this whole year, because you and I have been through this. Whether you follow us on social media or whether you've been one of those tacos who was there from the beginning, I want to know how you guys are changing this year. So I hope that you enjoyed this new kind of format that we've had for our Talk-About It Fridays. I hope that you enjoyed talking about your starter question, about how your break was. I hope you enjoyed getting kind of crazy and comical with these wacky questions for our comical questions. And I hope you enjoyed getting that next step deeper and how we can be better people in this year and how we can seek change in ourselves. So that's what I'm going to leave you with this week and on this Friday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. I hope you've had a great week coming back from your holiday break. And now I hope that you have a great weekend. Feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions that you'd like to go into next week's video, please send them in. We would love to work in any of your questions that you have. So that is how I'm going to leave you. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later, everybody.